So now what do I do? Well, I guess there's only one thing. There's something I'd like to know. Are you real? Can you feel?
Hi friends, I'm Prairie Vintage. My name's Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube. I use spirit and my intuition, the tarot, to communicate energies to you guys, fabulous viewers. If you guys are new to this channel, welcome. I'm so glad you're here and that you guys found me. For those of you guys who are returning, I'm so blessed and I'm so grateful to do your reading again today. Today's reading, we're taking a look at you versus the person on your mind, and it's an energy check on feelings, thoughts, and the energy between you and this person. Now, this person could be your higher self, okay? This could certainly be you versus a situation, circumstance. Whatever pulls through here is just energy, so I don't know or see who it belongs to. Okay, I just read energy and cards. So it's up to you to determine what that energy belongs to. If it is someone or something you're not wanting to listen to, then go check out another pile or another reading. Okay, the strongest energy pulls through. So we might be wanting to see about something else and then someone else pulls through. Okay, I can't control how it comes through. Like I say, it's always the strongest energy around you. And we'll be doing like an A versus B. So you could be on either side, but you should resonate with one side sort of being your energy. And we're looking at current. Okay, so hopefully we get a lot of the current energy that's going on at the time that you're watching this reading. And as we know, energy fluctuates. It's not fixed and it's not linear. Okay, meaning this could certainly be energy you're tapping into in regards to what's coming up. Could be going out of existence. Okay, so don't fix yourself to any sort of particular timeline. All right, but if it sounds like very old energy and it's not resonating, then it's most likely not your pile and you can go check out another pile. Okay, and it's absolutely fine to be pulled to multiple piles as well. And as long as you resonate with one side sort of being an energy that you're resonating with, then rest assured it's your pile. Okay, so these are the decks I'll be using for today's reading, mostly the astrology cards and the love oracle cards from the Enneagram and the Murder of Crows. So I'll link my playlist right here for these decks for those of you guys interested in taking a look at these. I do encourage you guys to charge the cards energetically because that's the easiest way for energy to sort of connect. Okay, it doesn't matter when you do it. It's like I say, energy isn't fixed. And so if you can charge the cards, then the energy will most likely be more in line with your readings for future readings. Okay, but either way, beautiful people, let's get into your reading. I'll put the timestamps below. This will be a pick a card option, and based on whichever option you're called to will most likely have the reading that you're looking for. All right, and I will see you guys at your selection. Hello, gorgeous angels. Here are your three options. Option number one is this lotus flower. I think it's a lotus flower. I always get confused. Pretty sure it's a lotus flower. Option number two is this feather bird. And option number three is this butterfly. Okay, so sit with this energy, and if you do get stuck, then close your eyes, open your eyes. Whichever one you're pulled into will most likely be the right pile for you, okay? But if it's not resonating, then go check out another pile. You're not obligated to sit there and listen and force messages. If it's not your reading, it's not your reading, okay? Beautiful angel, and I'll put the timestamps below. It'll take you guys directly to your pick, and I will see you guys at your pick. Option number one, you guys pick the lotus flower. Like I say, I do think it's a lotus flower. I don't know, they grow on the lily pad. Let's take a look at your reading, okay? We're going to be doing A versus B, you versus the person on your mind. And like I say, you could either be A or B. All right, but you have to resonate with one side being your energy. Now, the person on your mind doesn't necessarily always pull through as the person you're pulling through, okay? You could be consciously sort of thinking of someone, and subconsciously, energetically, there's a stronger pull, and that's what's going to pull through here, okay? I can't help who pulls through here, and so this could be your higher self versus your 3D self, okay? This could certainly be the person on your mind. This could be you versus the situation or circumstance that's putting off a type of energy. Okay, so I'm just reading the energy, up to you to determine if that energy resonates or belongs to anything or anyone going on in your environment. Okay, so you're not obligated to stay there. You can go check out another pile, another reading altogether. It's up to you, beautiful angel. Okay, we'll ask Spirit as we lay these cards out for a clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile one. Pile one versus the person on their mind, person they came here about, current energy, feelings, thoughts, whatever pulls through energetically. Thank you so much, Spirit, and thank you so much, Pile 1, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here doing your reading. Thank you so much. And yes, I'm feeling a lot better. For those of you guys who are wondering how I'm doing good. Thank you so much. I sometimes get into these weird energetic funks. All right, so let's see. A versus B, person on pile one's mind versus pile one, energetically, Spirit. Can we take a look at the current energy? Please protect me and the viewer and this connection as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of the collective. Tap into this pile. Thank you so much. A versus B. Pile one versus the person on their mind. And one more. All right. I heard one more for here. Okay. So we have the tarot as well, which we'll pull through. So remember, you're going to resonate with either A or B. Okay. One side must sound like you. So let's take a look. We have past. Number 13 and 4, temporality, ego level. It says yesterday, memory, ended, story, old times, remembrance. Type 4, the individualist, emotional center between lack and abundance. And we have Sun and Chiron, 7, which is Cancer energy. And we also have Aries and Scorpio here, okay? And then we have 37, fire element, desire. Wow. So we have Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Okay, and then we also have 12th house, house of the mystic. Okay, so the 12th house is all endings and healing. Okay, we have the healing pulling through with this Chiron here. Okay, it's also about closure, spirituality, solitude, karma, old age, afterlife. It's what's hidden in the subconscious, limiting beliefs. Okay, so I'll let you guys take a look at this card. Okay, so it's saying it represents water here. So we have fire and water, which we know fire and water. It's kind of two polarities. Okay, let's take a look at person B. Okay, so we have success, 84 and 3 with the solar plexus. Happy event growth level. It says achievement, happy event, luck, winning, prosperity, good fortune. Type 3, the achiever, emotional center between appearance and authenticity. And then we have 17, Moon and Uranus. So 17 is 8, which is giving me Leo and Aquarius. 3 is giving me Taurus, Libra energy. Cancer as well. And Uranus is the ruling planet for Aquarius, which, like I said, it was giving star. And then we have 15 with Moon and Saturn. So strong Moon. Moon is a watery energy here. 15 is Capricorn energy plus Gemini and Cancer. And more Aquarius, as well as Capricorn. I think I said 25, first house, the body. So the first house is the house of self, appearances, beginnings. Interesting. This one was endings. Okay, so we have beginnings, the body, first impressions, attitude, identity, approach to life. So identity, we have solar plexus energy here. Okay, fascinating. And then we have the trine harmony. So I'll let you guys take a look at this. Okay. And then we'll pull tarot after. Just let me get started with a wand, which I always forget to grab at the beginning. I don't know why this wand never feels. This one's much better. Okay. Let's take a look. A versus B. A is kind of coming off already very clear to me. I'm not sure what's going on with B, but let me see. Okay, this is current energies, okay? So, like I say, it could definitely fluctuate, but I feel like A is an energy of doing a lot of healing from the past and is sort of in a transition right now. They're going from whatever they've experienced, which I don't feel is pleasant here with the Chiron, and really processing a lot of that. So they are, what I'm really getting here intuitively is that this fire is like they're being called to life based on an opportunity, which I do feel is B, because B is giving off a beautiful, radiant energy. Okay, but we'll dig into it because I don't know how much surface it is. We'll see. But I feel like A is sort of really was called to the plate. Like, look at your past. Take a look at what you're dealing with in regards to your energy and what is holding you back and what has been limiting you in your life towards maybe moving forward in this connection. It seems almost like an existential crisis here, because I do feel like a lot of what has been holding person A back has come to the surface as a result of some trigger, some catalyst, which again, I do feel could be this connection. Okay. And it's like no longer suppressing and making peace, coming to terms with what is, and being reborn into the new. And so there's a lot of releasing what doesn't serve this person. This person could have been really weighed down by situations, circumstances of the past. You know, there could have been heavy relationships. There could have been childhood stuff. There could have been toxicity. There could have been wounding. Whatever was happening with person A has been something that person A has had to look at and sit with and resolve and integrate. There's a lot of heavy shadow work here, balancing, tower, transformation, release, you know, like the old self is dying, and the realization of who I am is now being born, even though I don't feel like A has connected to fully their truest self, although the true self is always there. But when everything sort of falls away, it's what remains that sort of becomes the new identity, if you will, although not an egoic identity, but the new version of this person is coming online. Okay, but I feel like there is hope, maybe for the first time, but it also comes with a lot of heaviness and undoing. And so there are times where person A feels like they're in the dark or uncertain about who they are or where they're going or what's, they know what doesn't work for them. And I feel like person A could even sometimes go into bouts of isolation, but it has nothing to do with removing themselves from B. I feel it's just where A needs to process and isolate themselves and reflect on who they are, what they want, and all of this stuff, and identify what's real from what's not. Also, I feel like this person is connecting to the divine, maybe for the first time, which is opening up a part of this person, which might be something that has been blocked, like their intuition, their psychic gifts, really connecting to their spirituality or to the divine. And I do feel like this person might be coming to terms with, like, really what hasn't been making them happy, what has been egoically driven in the past. It's like, I was this version that I believed was me, either through program conditioning or upbringing or defensiveness or ignorance. And it hasn't brought me any happiness. And now I am being called to remember who I am and come back to myself. And this process is long, scary, and confusing, and lonely. Yeah. So I don't feel like they are completely giving anything to B, because I feel like all the energy that A needs is sort of being housed within A to sort through this, to heal themselves, to see the truth, to connect to the divine and to their truest self. So the last thing I think that A could do is be present for B. And I do feel it's gearing up for A to make some form of action that is certain and clear and more in line with their authentic self. And they might have been in their comfort zone for some time, because I do feel like there was some world that A belonged to that is no longer aligned. It's misaligned. And so their desire to get out of this or resolve this is high, because I do feel there's an urgency here with this fire. And A knows they can't stay in their environment too long because it's smoldering over here, and where there's smoke, there's fire. And so there is an urgency to sort of get out, but it's like, where then do I point myself to go? And I feel like A also feels kind of misunderstood, or like they have to keep what they're going through to themselves. It's like no one understands. Their environment is definitely misaligned. They don't feel supported by their community or whoever's around them. Okay, and I'm not saying B necessarily, it could be as well, but it's just like a process of self having to sit with self and undo the false self to come into the true self. It's a process of ascension. Okay, and so let's take a look at B. I almost feel like these two are sort of living independent lives right now, because I don't feel like B is too wrapped up in doing anything with A. And so B might know, like, there's nothing I could really do at this time but become the best version of myself. So there seems to be a focus on the practical world. And I do feel like there's something about B's emotions here that Yeah, there's something going on here. We might really see when we drill down with the tarot, because I do feel for the positive, it's like B is aligning the 3D world and the surface self to something that they could focus on that does feel light. But I feel like there is a lot going on in the surface here that still hasn't been processed. And it's almost like a suppression of, what is it, like the truth? And I'd rather not deal with the depth of my emotion here in order to, I don't know, keep peace, or to, I don't know. It feels kind of surface here. It does feel, maybe B is trying to convince themselves that they're happier than they are. This is kind of what I'm getting. It's like, I'm going to go la 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 to what's going on, and focus on, well, what's really in front of me, which is okay to focus on the present moment. But really the messaging here is like, we can't really be present when we're still full of subconscious drivers, because then we're just distracting. This is what it feels like. There's a distraction, and then we could definitely be chalking it up to, I don't know, I'm at a loss for words here. It's like the only way to really be in the present moment is to shed what we're not. There's ego here. Okay, and it's fine if we have ego, but I don't feel that we're acknowledging the ego drivers here that are actually driving this person's actions. And so I do feel like this person is really focused on the superficial so that they could not, I don't know, process deep stuff that's going on here in their emotions. And I feel like this person could use emotional regulation. I don't know, like it would be okay if this person did a whole lot of shadow work and is coming out of this. It could be, coming out of it, but I don't think we would see it in this sort of a way. I don't know. I'm gonna just see here for person B. Four of Wands. Well, that's a good balance card. Let's see what's going on with person B. Have they processed this, their emotions and their ego? Are they coming into balance and harmony with themselves? Ace of Wands in reverse. And the Page of Swords. And the Emperor and the Temperance. Aries and Sagittarius. It could definitely be that person B has sat with themselves, has reviewed their emotions, and has made some sort of peace, with where they're at. This is definitely possible, because I do feel like person B might be like, what can I do in my material world here that's going to bring me harmony, that's going to allow me to be balanced, that's going to bring me clearer understanding of what's important in my life. But it could just be very early stage here. And so person B might be like, not really feeling full in the soul. Like, this doesn't feel very full in the soul. So they could just be, I finally gained my bearings. I finally stepped out of whatever funk I was in. So now I feel like I can move towards something. And so the smallest thing here might be what I focus on, because it does feel, like I say, like surface. It doesn't feel fulfilled. And so B might be, I'm not fulfilled. I haven't connected to the deepest place of me physically, but there is something about healing and balance. And so maybe B has made peace with where they're at emotionally, here is what I feel. But it's almost like, I don't know, there's something about the desire that's wanting to it's like full of desire, but nowhere to go. You know, it really feels like there's nowhere to go. It's like something burning a hole in their pocket. 3 of Swords. There's that pain that I keep sensing underneath it all. Is B sort of trying to just move on without A? Because this is what it seems like. It feels like I can't pursue A. I have a lot of pain, but the only thing within my power is to keep functioning in my day-to-day world here, like this Emperor. But it's like I don't have my community that I can contribute to or move towards, but I have to remain grounded and set on an adventure to seek to understand what's on this other side, despite this pain. So yeah, it's like B is limping along here, but it's like I can't let the limp of person A sort of not being present in my life hold me back. And I have to find a way to be okay with what I do have, but it feels very shallow and superficial here. But that might be the extent of what B has. So let's pull the tarot and see, because I don't know. I feel there's something off here. Okay, so clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of this connection. What's going on in this connection between A and B? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good. Yeah, I feel there's still like something devilly here, because I feel there's an in denial of sorts. Something's not processed. And I don't know what it is, because I mean, we were seeing Temperance, which is a healing card, and balance, and the 4 of Wands. Both of those together would mean a masculine, feminine balance. What's going on in this connection between the two of them? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 1, Spirit. Please help me to channel this message in a way pile 1 will understand. 3 of Pentacles and the 4 of Cups. And I definitely feel like both of these aren't working together right now. And I do feel like B might feel rejected. It's like A isn't showing up, or A doesn't want to work with me. So B might be internalizing this in a way, but then saying, oh, well, it is what it is, you know? But it's like, I don't know. It's not processed. It's not healed. 5 of Cups. Clarified by the 6 of Swords in reverse and the 9 of Wands, and then the 6 of Cups and the 9 of Swords in reverse, and then the Queen of Swords in reverse. Okay, this makes a lot more sense to me now. Okay, but 9s are all about fruition, completion, fulfillment, wisdom, closure. Okay, And we got 2 9s here. So here's exactly what I'm getting. Both of these people are doing their own separate thing. A cannot do anything other than what A is doing. This is something that's taken over them spiritually. And I feel like B is an ego, is taking it personal, like A has a choice. A has no choice. B thinks that A has a choice and that A isn't working with them. So B feels rejected. But instead of extending compassion and understanding what love means, the B is in an energy here that is, it feels resentful, energetically. It feels masked up. It feels like somebody who's wounded and is reactionary and is going to go through a process. And then finally, the underpinnings are going to come to the surface here that need to still be dealt with. And so I feel like B is like the master of trying to keep themselves all together. But I feel like B is internalizing and taking personal that A cannot show up. And so neither of these are working out. A cannot work with B because A is still doing the Lord's work, if you will. And B is saying, well, what's wrong with me? I'm not going to sit here. I need to be the prize. Otherwise, see you later. But see you later, but I haven't dealt with something here, which is understanding what it means to truly connect to emotions and love in a way here that extends compassion and understanding. And so I feel like A is definitely stuck for some time. And I feel like there is a need for both of these to resolve childhood wounding. And I feel like both of these were called online to trigger each other and to mirror something within each other so that they can heal certain parts within themselves. And A is certainly undergoing, like I said, the catalyst to shedding the false self. And I don't think that B understands that there's anything within them that needs to be looked at, that needs to be resolved so that they could come to a clearer understanding. Because I do feel like B is still in the mind. I do feel like B is still in the ego. I do feel like B is still taking it personal. I feel like B is being defensive and saying, well, the proof's in the pudding and you're not here, you're not working with me, you're this sort of a thing. And it's like, I don't want to be in my mind suffering over why A isn't showing up for me. And not that they need to suffer, but there's some deep emotion here, like I said, that feels very suppressed, that needs to be looked at, which is, how do I engage with love? That's not transactional. That's not self-serving. That's not, I don't get what I want, so therefore I get reactionary, defensive, and start to superficially sort of distract myself and focus on other things here. This is exactly the energy that I'm getting. And so it's like, instead of mourning and working through the energy, I feel disappointed and I'm just seeing it for the surface of what it is and then reacting according to that. And it's almost like very superficial, like I say, because it's like, well, A doesn't see how good I am or my value. I'm the prize energy. So I feel like B is able to hold it together now with the temperance, is trying to keep it together on the surface here. But Spirit is saying, like, this is the only way through, is to allow the false self to deconstruct. If there's going to be a working together, because this is what we've been called to do here. There's soul recognition here to be mirrored, a triggering a catalyst of you have things I'm going to mirror to you. I have things that are going to mirror to you in regards to self-love, unconditional love, self-worth that goes beyond ego, beyond surface, beyond mask, beyond anything here. And I think that B, yeah, look, comfort zone even, because I feel like B, the comfort zone here, though, even if B's all involved in different things and focused on career or like driven here by the egoic solar plexus, the comfort zone here is the energetic embodiment of B, how they just cope and deal with things. Because I feel like if we were really to process, it's like, first we'd feel rejected, you know, but then it's like we'd have to open the heart and crack the heart open and deal with this thing. But it's like, I'm just going to paint the story of what I want to believe so that I can get through this and just sort of forget about it, you know. But it's like, it's not going anywhere. There is not going to go anywhere. We have to process the moon energy. Empress, divine feminine. So we have Libra, Taurus energy. It's like, yeah, like look at this person chiseling, like cracking away the false in order to have the form that's underneath. It has to be shed. And that's the perfect analogy for the false self falls away, and whatever remains is the version of the truest self. And so I feel like the rejection that's happening is for B to see the true self underneath, which is this Empress. But I don't feel like B's connected to this Empress, and B might feel like they're an Empress energy. But an Empress doesn't sit in solar plexus energy. An Empress doesn't sit with any form of resentments or transactional love or avoidance, or there's nothing else within me that I can take a look at because I'm the prize, the comfort zone. This is a way to protect self. Okay, so this is interesting energy. So we have Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and Taurus, Taurus, Libra. So heavy Libra energy here. Let's take a look, because I feel like a lot of you guys might be sitting here with this B. It might not necessarily be your energy, but if it is you, I'm going to drill in here, okay? I wasn't expecting to get so stumped here, but something's really off and I can't put my finger on it. And I don't feel I'm doing it any justice here. But I feel like the cracking open is this Uranus. It's like the emotions need to be seen for what they are and not dressed up here. And I feel like there's a need for a tower when it comes to the emotional connection, you know? So that everything that's sort of sitting in there could be seen and flushed out and looked at and resolved. Otherwise, we're just acting out of subconscious. Nothing got healed. Nothing got looked at. There's no shadow work. There's nothing. So let's see. Spirit's clear and concise message. Now, just because we see the divine feminine with the Empress doesn't mean this is a feminine energy, because it could just mean this person is very uncomfortable with emotions. They're not able to give and receive love from an unconditional place. It's very transactional. It's superficial. They haven't connected to their own emotions. They don't feel comfortable with giving and receiving love. They could definitely have, with this 6 cups, like I said, like emotional childhood wounding here that stemmed from mother wounds here. So I don't know how to give love. I don't know how to receive love. I'm just focusing on my own superficial thing here, trying to make harmony here, but it's like chasing a dead end, because this comfort zone is something they've always done. Like they're still doing the same thing they've always done. And so there's no problem here. No, there's no problem here. I feel totally temperanced because they were in ignorance. That's exactly what it is. I don't see the problem here. except I'm asleep. I'm acting from subconscious. So this is probably your person, obviously, because I feel this person probably wouldn't even be here. Let's see. Let's drill into this person. Person B, what am I reading here? Clear and concise message. Spirit, please help me to channel this in a way that pile 1 will understand what's going on with this person B. Emperor for the second time. This definitely could be a divine masculine, okay? And it's like somebody who is very focused on their order and structure, comfort zone, because the Emperor wants to keep things orderly. So emotions, get out of here. I can't control water. Oopsie. So we have the World. So the World is a successful conclusion, an end of a cycle. Let's keep going. Person B. What do we need to know about person B and how they're currently feeling right here, right now? Magician. So again, 3D manifestation, what I can do, what's within my control and my power. Aries, Gemini, and Virgo. Why is this Emperor here? We have the Knight of Swords. Why is the World here? Four Swords. Okay, and why is this Magician here? 8 of Cups in reverse. Exactly. Page of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, and then under that is the 10 of Pentacles. Okay, person B is stuck in material land. Okay, they have something they built. This could be a father. It could also be a mother. I'm getting more maybe father energy here, okay? Even if it is like a feminine, it's like the provider, the structure maker. It's like, I am the person here who created this established thing in the matrix world. And so people depend on me. This could definitely be somebody who has a family member who depends on them. Okay. Mother, sister, brother, whatever. Okay. Mother of their child, a spouse. And the universe is trying to wake this person up by this connection so that this person can open up their heart space here with this Page of Cups. The moon coming out and this Page of Cups. This person has pain, 3 swords underneath what we saw that's sitting there. But the only way for it to be seen is for this person to stop and reflect and be open to it consciously. And they're closing out a cycle right now of this other self, this comfort zone self, this matrix self, this materialistic self, the self that's been subconsciously on autopilot. Because this person is all about, if I can't see it, touch it, and do it, then it doesn't exist. And there's so many other dimensions, especially when it comes to the spiritual realms, you know? And there goes my email confirming. There's like soul, spirit, emotions, and all of this stuff. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist here, but this person is comfortable in the material world because they feel they can control it. So I wouldn't be surprised if this person is very successful, you know, like has an empire here, is well known or well established. And they're being asked to confront what's going on within them. But this person, the only way they know how to confront it is with the mind. And it's like, no, it's beyond the mind. It's connecting to emotions and soul and depth. And so it starts with the mind to question and to look at. But I feel like this person would be combative against it, because if it's not in line with the thing I built, then it's going to threaten it, you know. But it's like, well, where they're at, they're actually emotionally dissatisfied. There is no happiness here, but they remain here. It's like, yeah, but I've already invested like 20 years, or I've already built this empire. And it's like, it's really testing this person. Okay, the universe, this whole experience is waking this person up so that they could close this way of engagement in their world. Because the only thing this person is going to manifest is more of the same in the material world, which is keeping this person emotionally dissatisfied. And they remain there. You know, they could be doing different things, but it's still from the same angle of doing. It's from the same angle of materialism. It's the same angle of the mind. It's the same angle of I am, I don't know, like I am the doer here. And as long as they stay in that energy, they'll be emotionally dissatisfied. It's almost like, I'm really sorry that I'm not doing this reading any justice here, but it really feels almost like a trade-off. Like, I will remain in this energy because it's okay, but it's ignorance, and it's, we don't know what we don't know. And so it's the comfort zone of something that is emotionally not so fulfilling and draining, and chasing our tail, and then thinking it's the best thing ever since sliced bread, and it's not. And Spirit's saying, stop, slow down. You've got stuff brewing inside of you that needs to be healed and looked at and flushed through so you can connect to the truth of who you are. And instead of you keeping busy and suppressing this and focused on success and it's okay, I'll be okay, I'll be okay. It's like giver. It's like, no, slow down, get balanced. You know, 5 Pentacles. I don't want to be without my money. I don't want to be without my 3D thing that I built. And so this person, I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to burn out or very tired, because you can only sustain this energy for an extended period of time before you can't no more. You burn out. And so Spirit is coming through with a message. This person is going to hit a point where they have to stop. So either they're going to, I'm not predicting anything, okay, but either they're going to have like a health scare, or they break something in which they can't work. You know, it's like the universe saying, hey, stop, no more, none of this running around stuff. Because out of this person's own volition, no, they're not going to want to stop, you know, until the universe makes them stop to see the light. And then they'll realize how unhappy they actually were here. But it was like, I don't want to lose the thing I built, so I'm just going to go, you know, because the world depends on me, or this person depends on me. And it's like, I don't know, like it feeds me to know that I'm needed, or this is my purpose. It's like your purpose is more than just providing. Your purpose is more than just creating a 3D world. Your purpose is spiritual. Your purpose is eternal. Your purpose goes on and on and on and on here. But we don't know who we are. We think we're just a bag of money, or just a boss. Okay, this person could be, like I said, in a power position at work, or definitely getting like provider vibes here from this person. And so they're driven by scarcity. They're driven by, if I stop, I'll be without. And so the first energy that I was feeling, like, it was like, oh, they're trying to pretend like they don't care what's going on with A, and they're not bothered by it. It's like they're in ignorance to everything that's meaningful and deep. It's not necessarily A so much as it is they're just in ignorance of everything that's deep, until the universe is going to show them that they're emotionally trading feelings and depth and soul for the devil's dollar here. Okay, so let's see what's with this world, because I do feel like Spirit says the only way for there to be a new beginning and connecting, there has to be closure. And Spirit's identifying this as successful, because success means we've finished what we were needing to learn and understand. And it's like the only way we can learn and understand is to go through a process that was meant to happen so that we could see the light. If we've never been going through this experience, go, materialism, unsatisfactory energy, we wouldn't feel the effect of what Spirit is trying to show this person. And so it's like Spirit saying, good, success. Your life path was supposed to experience this so that you could gain an understanding. When we flip you on the other side of this world, which is a new beginning, you're going to see very clearly, because you've already experienced the other side. So it's not that this person is like not supposed to experience this. This person definitely was supposed to experience this. So let's see, Spirit, what's with this world? For pile number 1, person B, what's with this world? What's with this world card? What is closing out here? What does this mean? What does this symbolize? Yeah, look, karmic cycle, like exactly what I said. It's like we have to learn the lessons that karma is putting in front of us. And if we haven't learned it fully, if we don't burn out, if we don't see the thing, it will never open the chapter to the new page. We just continue in ignorance. We don't grow spiritually. We think that we're this 3D body and we're only here to make money. And that's it, it's like, oh, there, I learned my lessons. Like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. So this is karmic understandings, cycles of an experience, of a phase that needs to fully close out in order for this person to actually find true harmony. There's, to open the Queen of Cups, to open the heart, 4 of Cups. Yes, thank you. I knew we'd get there eventually. Yes, 10 of Cups. Okay, it's so clear here now. Person B traded all of the emotional thing for all of the materialistic things, thinking that that was their happiness because there I can control it, And they're so disconnected from emotions, from compassion, from their heart space, from love, unconditional love. And what does that mean? Because that's the only place that we find true happiness, where we can create happiness with other. Okay? And this isn't about the only way we can be happy is with other. This means I have to find happiness within me so that I can be happy with other, because the ultimate happiness we're here is to share with other, not so you could be alone and die alone, or have to prove our worth through material things in order to be loved. This is like, I'm loved for who I am, and I'm whole, and I'm complete, and I love myself, and therefore I align with people who love me. This is unconditional love. This person right now is not connected to their emotions at all, and they're feeling emotionally dissatisfied and rejected here. But they're the ones who are in this energy because this has been their experience. They're closing this out. And Spirit's really talking about, because I specifically asked about this world card specifically, and Spirit's saying this cycle that needs to close successfully once the karmic lessons are learned is all about opening the heart space and dealing with this part of self that is rejecting love from the universe and love from self, and connecting to self, and having this looking at the 3-cup energy, which is like not fulfilling at all in this instance. It's very disconnected. Okay, and the 3-cup meaning the material thing. And this person will continue to manifest in that world until this is learned and closed. And so they're being aligned with the 10 cups. And obviously, because we're doing a spiritual connection here with A and B, this 10 cups is reflective of what they could have with A, because I feel like A is well underway to some huge spiritual growth here of really connecting to their own cup. And since we saw the 6 of Cups, which is mirrored, it's like, since A is connected to their own cup, B is being called to the plate to connect to their own cup, because without connecting to their heart space, they're incapable of showing up for anyone else, because they haven't shown up for themselves. 10 Pentacle, because yes, they could still build something here in the 3D world, because it's not just be spiritually happy and materially poor. It's like, no, you can have your material empire, wealth. There's nothing wrong with wealth and 10 Pentacle, but it's like, it's not just about the 10 Pentacle. If you're not emotionally satisfied, or are you going to take all your riches with you? No. And so this build for a future empire can only be experienced with a 10 cups here. Otherwise, we're just selling our soul to the devil. And so this is what Spirit wants this person to learn and see and connect to. And that's what's happening. But I don't feel like A and B are connected right now at all. Maybe through the spirit realm, maybe through the dream realm. But I feel like B is in la la land here, you know, and A is going through this heaviness here, which is beautiful, although very heavy. Okay, so this is what I see. I hope this resonated. We have Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, Virgo, Gemini, Aries, and yeah, that's what I see. All right, I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, beautiful pile number 2. You guys picked the Bejeweled Birdie with the feather tail. Let's take a look at you versus the person on your mind. Okay, we'll do A versus B, and you're either going to resonate with A or B, but you have to resonate with one side being your energy, okay, for this to be your reading. Like I mentioned, this could be you versus your high self. This could be you versus a situation, the person on your mind, another person could pull through here. Okay, it's energy that's the strongest that pulls through. So keep an open mind, although don't force it to fit, okay? So clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 2. This is current energy regarding you and the person you came here about. Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 2. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 2. Thank you, Spirit, and thank you so much, pile 2, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here doing your reading today. So A versus B, and I have a few cards to pull here. You guys can skip ahead if you like. For person A versus B, Spirit, what is going on energetically? Feelings, thoughts, current state for A versus B. Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of A versus B. Two cards for that. And finally, A versus B, clear and concise message. What's going on energetically with A versus B here, Spirit? For the greatest and highest good of this connection, please protect me and the viewer and this connection as I channel this message for the greatest and the highest good of the viewer. Okay, beautiful. Let's start with A. We have surprise, 38 and 2. Natural event, ego level. Present, chance, favor, gift, service, donation. Type 2, the helper, emotional center between giving and receiving. We have the root chakra. Remember, we're doing current energy. Okay, we have Saturn and Pluto, 54, or the number 9. So we have some Pisces, Libra, Capricorn, and Aquarius and Scorpio energy pulling through so far. And then we have 31 with 7th house partners. So the 7th house is that of relationships, marriage, contracts, business partners, equality, sharing, interpersonal style. 31 and 4. So we have some Aries energy and some more Scorpio. And then we have quincunx with no common ground. So I'll hold this up so you guys can see. Okay. And then for person B, we have 107 and 8. Healthy love, growth level, true love. Thoughtful love, protective love, steady love, caring love, trusting love, compassionate love. Type 8, the challenger, instinctive center between strength and weakness. So we have some Leo and some Aquarius. And we have Jupiter with 44. Wow, so 44 is a master number. Integrity is a foundation, treating the earth as home and a temple, manifestation and leadership, which is also another 8. So 88 is a master number, a higher calling that is grounded in self-awareness and reverence for life. Interesting. So Jupiter is the ruling planet for Sagittarius, Pisces. And then we have Sagittarius, IC with 21 and 3. So you have some Taurus Libra energy. And we also have 12. Interesting. Look at the mirrored numbers, 12 and 21. Black Moon Lilith with mystery. Wow. So some shadowy energy pulling through here. Okay. And then we have conjunction with consolidation. Fascinating. Okay. Let me tap into this energy and see what's going on. Okay, interesting, because we are looking at a snapshot of current energy here. I feel is totally, because it's coming out in this reading, I feel like A is totally feeling very blessed and surprised at the experience that they're having with B. It's almost like A never fathomed that they would experience what they're experiencing here. Because I feel like A feels like they are misunderstood when it comes to connection. This could even be that A has not experienced a harmonious connection ever in this lifetime. It seems almost very disjointed here, like I'm awkward, I don't understand, I'm misunderstood, it's confusing. There's a lot of blocks here with A. But I feel like A feels very much like their blockages aren't blocks in this connection. It feels almost like A feels blessed and surprised in a way that they're actually having an opportunity to also enjoy connection and relationship, maybe for the very first time here. I feel like A has been traumatized in the past, whatever that looked like. I don't know. Abused as a child, a very controlling, abusive relationship at one point in time that stunted this person's ability to connect. I feel like this person feels very highly spiritual. I feel like this person could be very highly intuitive. I feel like this person might be a very misunderstood and very awkward to deal with, like connections. And I feel like this person is being called to heal this, look at this, resolve this, and become comfortable in their own skin. And I do feel like this first step is welcoming someone into this world of theirs that I think they've been pretty closed off. It's like when someone sees the true self of me or the true version of me, they might reject me, or they won't understand me or accept me, or I can't be who I am here and be loved. And with this root chakra, I do feel like this person could have a lot of instability in their life, and this could manifest in many different ways. Addictions and even avoidance. This could be suppressing their emotions to the extreme and feeling very unsafe with people, feeling like they can't trust the world, they can't trust connection, they can't trust. And so right now, this person feels like they're given an opportunity that caught them off guard. It's this connection. and they feel blessed. And I feel like there's these two worlds that this person sort of is trying to reconcile, because one world is the world that they've known that, again, is isolated. It defaults back to the old program way that at least allows them to feel safe, whatever that world looks like, although it is one that's not dealing with the root of the issue or looking at themselves as somebody who could be loved, who could give and receive love, who can open up, who could experience partnership, who could be seen and welcomed. And I feel like they're being given this opportunity to do this. And I feel like even with like this gift and this chance and this Jupiter energy that's coming from here, it's like they see B as this blessing of an opportunity that's given them a chance at life. It's given them a chance to experience acceptance of themselves, acceptance of they are deserving of love, they're deserving of feeling warmth and sharing and caring here. And I don't know why they wrote it off. They just wrote it off as something that wasn't going to happen or not for them. You know, I'm going to be single forever. I'm never going to get into a relationship, or no one will ever understand me or see me or get me. And I won't experience this. So they wrote it off. I also feel like this person has a very hard time with communication. And so they might have just shut down, like stopped bothering trying to express themselves or communicate how they truly feel. And I do feel like it's an ongoing thing for this person. I don't feel like this is just all of a sudden, you know. I feel like this person has been like this for quite some time. It might have got worse as they got older, for sure. There's definitely abandonment wounds here, and it manifests as an avoidance, or it manifests as cutting the world off. And I cope with it however I do. So they could be definitely somebody who has been avoiding emotions, disconnected from their core to be able to allow love in, to allow themselves to nurture themselves, connect to themselves, feel safe, and that sort of a thing. And so I do feel like their world right now is their comfort zone because it's familiar to them. And it's like, if I do anything outside of this, then I'm exposed to that in which I've already experienced or that I'm traumatized by. And so there's a lot of fear here in reproducing something that might expose this person to that in which they don't want to feel. And so there is some hesitation here, but I don't feel B is giving them any reason to hesitate. If anything, I feel A is very fulfilled here. There's fulfillment. There is a mirror back to this person. I feel like they're absolutely now starting to see glimpses of who they actually are, as opposed to who they just assumed that they were because of what they experienced. And so there's this opportunity. It feels still like an opportunity. It's like, can you see who you are? Do you see you're worthy of love? This connection is showing you a greater truth for you to see beyond the pain and the experience that you had that was negative, that made you decide that you weren't worthy of ever experiencing connection or bond, and rise above this thing so that you can stand in an absolute truth of what you're worthy of and overcome certain things here. But if this person is struggling with addiction, this could be very challenging, you know, because I do feel there could be shame here, there could be guilt, there could be this sort of a thing. And so I don't know how long these two have been sort of doing this dance, but if there's no doubt in my mind that if when person A and B sort of connected early on, that A would have been creating all sorts of conflict, you know, and so they could carry this as a heaviness here, like I created pain and suffering, or I was very difficult, you know. and they're still seeming here very difficult. But I do feel like there's a choice for A to have in this situation. I feel like the ball is sitting with A to make a choice and to say, do I want to open myself up and explore B? Or do I want to choose to stay stuck and stagnant and in this pain and in the story that I've always lived and protect myself and live sort of reactionary based on that? That's sort of what I feel here with A. Now let's get into B. I feel like B feels very well rounded, okay, for the most part here. There is a lot of coming into alignment. And I feel like B feels very contagious here, okay? I don't know if this is just how A sees B, but it does feel like larger than life, a very positive, beautiful, direct energy, someone who is pulled towards truth, pulled with passion, is a manifester of abundance, can create their own universe here. But I also feel like it's a good balance, even with this Black Moon Lilith, because I do feel like there's a shadow side here of B. And I mean, we all have shadow, you know, even this black here is representing shadow. And I feel like the shadow side is B understanding what true love it really is about. And so I feel like B has been having to overcome egos and really having to dive in deep in regards to what they want with star energy, which I'm feeling from this 8. It's like, what do I want for myself or my future? What sort of should I point myself towards accomplishing? There's something about purpose, mission, and also like interweave in here with this understanding of true love. Because I do feel like this connection, since we're reading about these two, this connection has given person B an opportunity to really tap into what true love looks like from a place that B might have not have been familiar with, but it was calling and pulling everything from the shadow here so that the ego can be seen, so that the shadow self can be acknowledged, so that B can continue to choose love. Because when we're conscious, it's always a choice whether we want to choose love or whether we want to choose, you know, the shadow or the fear or give in to the, the shadow. And so I feel like there still is a big question mark here for B because I'm getting a lot of 12th house energy, which is like what's not seen, subconscious energies that are still potentially here, but I don't feel like B is really driven by a lot of the subconscious so much as it is being conscious when they are and when they're manifesting out of this place. And so I do feel there's a lot of shadow integration here. And I feel like B is really accepting the parts of themselves that might have been suppressed or rejected by B at one point in time. This feels very balanced and healed. Like I really don't feel like B is sort of pining for A. I don't feel like B is low on self-worth. I feel like B is really just trying to maintain and integrate, like maintain balanced emotions and integrate any shadow and really sort of be able to drive with mission and purpose. So their purpose could have been seen and understood clearly by this connection or by the awakening of this greater version of them that says, I can now see and connect with true love, which is now giving me a whole new drive and purpose. And until we understand and connect with true love, we're sort of aimless, you know, doing whatever actions, empty actions or less fulfilling. This seems like I am on a mission to fulfill my purpose. I am on a mission to like be balanced, healed, complete, and give love to everyone and everything from this beautiful place of compassion. Because I do feel like this person's purpose is to become balanced and healed as best as they can. But I do feel like even with this Black Moon Lilith mystery, I feel like there might be a history here, because I do feel like A could have certainly created a lot of challenge, you know, and held up a mirror to B, so that B could sit with parts of themselves that might have been very uncomfortable and suppressed and ignored. And it's like learning to trust themselves, learning to integrate themselves. And where was it? Yeah, so the 44 was integrity as a foundation, because it's like, who am I on this world? And do I practice what I preach? Am I superficially an ego, or am I deeper than that? And do I live what I mean? Treating the earth as home and a temple, which means I am honoring the manifest and what's going on around me, but also what's going on within me. Okay, and 44 is also manifestation and leadership, because I do feel like this person is going to be driving some form of purpose here, if they haven't already, some sort of calling. Okay, but 88, like we were also saying, 8 and 8 is this higher calling that's grounded in self-awareness and reverence for life. And it's like, because I've been going through the shadow integration, I can now step up to a higher calling, because I do feel like B is being called. Okay, as we all are, but unless we're conscious of it, we don't know we're being called. And it's like, through this love and this compassion, I feel like it could be in the lines of servicing the collective, however that comes through. This person wants to be of service to the collective. So let's take a look at, because I don't feel like there's too much going towards A at all. It's like, I'll let A sort of figure themselves out and do my own thing over here, you know? But I feel like these two could certainly still be in contact. But it just feels like A was unprepared. A was not ready for B. And A is appreciative of B's love and unconditional support here. However, that's coming through. But let's see. Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of this connection. What is going on energetically between these two? Feelings, thoughts, what's going on between person A and person B in pile 2? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good. Thank you so much. I don't know if I did the signs. I think I did, but just in case. So we have Pisces, Libra, Virgo, Cancer, Aries, Scorpio, and Leo, Taurus, Libra out here. Okay, so let's see. Clear and concise message. Yeah, and Sagittarius, Pisces. I don't know if I said that. I don't feel these are right. Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 2. What's going on in this connection? Current feelings, thoughts between person A and person B. What more can we see about current energy? Thank you, Spirit, for this message. Okay, so we see the 7 of Wands. Okay, and 5 of Pentacles in reverse. It's coming out of this lack mindset, can't do energy. Queen of Wands in reverse, which is Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. 4 of Wands and 4 Pentacles in reverse, and 8 of Wands in reverse, block of communication, 9 of Wands here, and the 2 of Swords and the Chariot. Cancer energy. Okay, just give me a sec here. Okay, I feel like B is definitely focused on a purpose. Okay, like doing whatever they can to move forwards, to integrate shadow, to have success. It's like their top of their thing is my own ability to navigate in the world, whatever that looks like, and be ready to face whatever I need to face. And one thing that B has had to face here, I feel, has been the more negative energy of A, because I feel like A has been in a lack mindset and a 5 pentacle, like really feeling left out from the universe, having to sit in that energy, feeling undeserving for whatever reason, whatever's happened. And so they couldn't show B appreciation. They couldn't acknowledge B. And so B, like I said, because I was really feeling with this Black Moon Lilith, has an experience here with A where it was like triggering their shadow. You don't see my self-worth, or you're not seeing my worthiness in some way, but only to realize, well, if they haven't connected to their own worthiness here, then how could they ever even step up here? So some of you guys definitely might resonate as twin flames here with the 4 wands, okay, which is my card of union and coming together. I feel like both of these people are on their way to come together. There is going to be success here in coming together. However, both these people must come into union with themselves, which means releasing anything that is holding them back, their comfort zone, any thoughts that are in scarcity and lack. And so B could have definitely been seeing the reaction from A as a dictator of their own value, and they could have definitely got wrapped up in any sort of internalization, and their ego could have been like an ego blow here, as like taking it as internal rejection. And so it's like letting go of whatever has not happened in order to integrate shadows, which are the fears and any sort of egoic thoughts, any ways of being that might have kept us stuck in the past, which both have to do, by the way, in order for these two to sort of see harmony and come together. Although I do feel like there's a block here in communication. And I feel like there is no movement forward until, like I said, there's a ball in person A's court, a decision that needs to be made. And I feel like A is working through releasing, coming out of that lack mindset, because I do feel like A finally has hope for the first time. And I don't feel like A wants to give up on B at all. I feel like A wants to be in it. But it's like I said, there's this energy of like, there's still a hesitation here. They're still unsure of how to move forward because they've been hurt with this 9 wands. They've experienced a lot of pain. This is the wounded warrior here. We have Saturn and Pluto, which is very, very heavy. Like I say, it could be a chronic addiction, a heaviness here that has weighed me back, or an inability to get going, suffering for quite some time here. It could be like job loss and feeling very discouraged for a very long time here. And it's like I finally see the light and I see hope here, but I don't know how to communicate with B. I don't know how to move it forward with B. I'm not quite sure what to say or do, but I don't want to let this opportunity go. And so I must work on releasing this. And in the meantime, as they release this, it's like they can't really focus on B or give B any sort of recognition. And so B's had to pick up their bootstraps and say, well, I got to fight for my own future. I have to move and forge forward and find balance and healing, because the last thing I want to do is have to prove my self-worth to A. And it could be that B could be a little bit defensive here or guarded towards A. It's like, you didn't appreciate me, or you didn't appreciate what I was doing or showing you, or you took me for granted. And so there could be like, I don't want to come around A, communicate with A, because it doesn't make me feel grounded, or it doesn't make me feel balanced, or it doesn't make me feel in a certain way. And so this could be very triggering for A. or okay, hopefully you're following. I don't know if I said that right. B could have definitely been pulled away from A because of their experience here. And it's like the only way for me to get balance is for me to, like step away from this energy. Although I don't feel it's like withholding from a place of resentments. I feel it's from a place of loving self and trying to forge forward here rather than be stuck, with unfortunately a negative sort of experience here. 5 Pentacle, scarcity. So let's see. Can we drill in a little deeper with pile 2? Is there anything I missed with what's going on with pile 2 between A and B? Energetically between these two. Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good. Is there anything that A is planning in regards to coming out of this funk? Because we do see them coming out with the 4 Pentacles in reverse and that 5 Pentacle in reverse. It's like whatever has kept me in the victim mindset, I am releasing. And with the 9 of Wands, they're definitely not wanting to surrender to their own sort of old ways and old patterns that were keeping them stuck. But it's still 2 swords, so I'm not sure what they're planning on doing here. Okay, so King of Wands, and then the 9 of Swords. Yeah, it's like if this person wants B, if A wants B, they're going to have to step into their confidence with vision and be confident that they could succeed with their communication, what they want, go after it. But there's way too much anxiety here about this. Okay, so Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. Let's see. Yeah, Judgment. The ball's in their court. Waking up time. The 6 of Wands in reverse. Put their ego aside. And so there is a lot of ego in regards to, will I succeed? Will I look successful? Am I confident enough to say what I want and then get what I want here? What if it doesn't succeed? And so this is the 2 swords. It's keeping me hesitant. Although I'm being called to awaken. I'm being called to action. I'm being called to do something here. Because the truth has been seen. That B means something to me. What will they do? 9 Pentacles. So this is the confidence card. Feeling like we're in a position to be available. I feel this person was really needing to work up their confidence here to feel like they could be worthy of stepping forward to be. And this might be the cause of this 2 swords, 9 sword energy, King of Swords in their mind about it. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But there's an understanding here. And the understanding is like, I have to do something. I have to make myself available, even if I'm not totally confident that I would succeed. 10 of Cups, because it's my 10 of Cups and my Temperance in reverse. Sagittarius energy. So I don't feel like A feels healed enough or balanced enough emotionally to step up to the level of B. Because I feel like B was showing as a reverse Queen of Wands, meaning B felt unappreciated here, and like A couldn't step up and be the King of Wands to the Queen of Wands, regardless of gender. And I feel like A knows this. A's like, if I have to step up to B, I have to be this King of Wands. That's the only way for me to step forward confidently. That's what B requires of me when I step forward and say, here's my vision, here's what I want, and go after it. And part of me feels like I'm not going to succeed or I'm going to fail. And I have to deal with this egoic understanding of stepping forward beyond my pride so that I could have a chance at a 10 Cups, because I do feel, again, like A finally could see that they are able to experience something here that they already wrote off as like a wish come true. but I don't feel like they feel prepared or ready or capable to show up and be the other half here. It's like, but I don't feel like I could stand toe to toe. I have a lot of sleepless nights about this and anxiety about this. Justice here. Libra energy. It's like they know they got to be the other side is the only way for there to be harmony. And so I don't feel like this person is, or A is going to step forward and not try or play any shenanigans. I feel like A is going to step forward despite the fear because they know that they have to produce something here. Okay, but I don't feel like A is healed, and so I don't think they're going to have a whole lot of success here because I think they're still blocked in communication. There's still too much in their mind. But it's like, but at least they could step forward here before B sort of gets away. Four of Cups in reverse. I think there's a lot of fear of rejection, and I also feel like B might feel like they've been constantly rejected here by the situation. And so there's rejection on both sides. But A is just not regulated. The Three of Wands in reverse. So things are sort of at a standstill here. They can't move forward because the ball sits here with A. It's like, how do you want to take this to the next level? Do you want to move forward? Where's your confidence and vision in regards to where this is going? Can you make yourself available? And they're saying, well, I don't know if I'm of equal measure. I don't know if I could have this harmony or this balance because my pride is telling me that if I do and I fail and then I've risked this beautiful thing. And so I only want to step forward when I know that I could have success here. But I also know that pile person B might get away here. And that's a great truth. And so I have to do something. So I do want one more and then we'll close this out. Yeah, let's see. Spirits, can we close out this reading? What am I missing for this connection? Remember, we're just getting sort of a snapshot here of what's going on. So let's see. Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 2. Pile number 2, and anything I've missed. Feelings, thoughts, what's going on in this connection. Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 2. We have the World. So closure of a major cycle or phase that allows the connection to graduate to the next level. There's the King of Cups, so deep feelings, which is good to see because I do feel like person A has been not connected, not feeling this way for quite some time. And so there's these feelings here for the first time. But what is this King of Cups going to do? Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy. There's the Temperance in reverse again, Sagittarius energy. Yeah, it's like, I don't know what to do with these feelings. I'm more in my mind because we did see that King of Swords, but I got to be this King of Wands energy. And so I sit here with my feelings, unregulated, unhealed, believing that I can't step forward or be the other cup here. Okay, so is this coming to a close or what's happening here? What's with this World? Three of Swords. There's that pain. And there's the Death in reverse, Scorpio energy. So yeah, it is still working on releasing because I feel like there's, again, that experience of the Three Swords that created all of this conflict. What's going on with this King of Cups? The Two of Swords. Yeah, it's like, what do I do with all these feelings? I'm at this crossroads and I don't see how to move forward from here. 10 of Pentacles. And then the 9 of Cups and the 10 of Cups. Wow. And then the 5 of Cups and the 10 of Swords. And there's the Queen of Wands. Okay, and she's in reverse still. So let's break this down. This is a lot about A, okay? A has a lot of love, and it just sits there without any direction or aim. 2 swords, where was it? Yeah, because of all the reasons we mentioned. They're closing this out. They have to work through this pain. The pain doesn't just go away because we have love here. The pain has to get processed. We must release what no longer serves to make way for new. The new always comes after this world card. Okay, but if it's taken up too much space of the old, we can't fit anything new. A is being called for the new, which is this connection. And they have to work through releasing so that they can deal with this pain, so that they know how to step forward here. They want a future with B. They want to create something in the manifest here. Commitment. Something worth having. They're thinking long term. 10 cups, 10 pentacles. I want a future with you. I want to build with you. You make me happy. Emotionally, I'm so fulfilled that I know that we could be happy together. This is what I want because I know you make me happy. But where I fall short is I don't know if I could make you happy because I have this lack mindset with the 5 pentacle and the 5 cups. It's my own inability to step into my own confidence of knowing that I could produce. And so what is driving me is the fact that I know you're going to call it quits here. You're going to put an end to this connection if I delay and stay 2 swords. But you can also put an end to this connection if I don't have what it takes to meet you where you need me to be and step up, because you'll feel unappreciated. You won't feel seen. You won't feel valued. You'll feel like I let you down. And so you'll end it with me. And so there's fear about this. I'll be looking back on a missed opportunity that I screwed up because I couldn't. So there's a lot of, I don't know how. And if I do, I might fail. And if I don't, then I'm definitely going to fail here and miss out. And so there's this negative mindset. I'm screwed if I do because I'll fail. And if I don't, then I'll fail because I didn't. And so this is what this means, is like this person is unregulated. They're not coming from a place of, if I have love here, I'm able to express love, show love, and give love. And this is all it sort of would take here to make us happy. But because I have the feelings, but all this other stuff is getting in my way, like the 9 swords, the lack of confidence, this 2 swords, I'm not seeing clearly. They're working through this and closing this out. But there's a certainty here about a future here with person B. It's just, how do I get there? What's within my ability? How do I let go of this understanding that I've created over a long period of time that has kept me feeling sad, that has kept me feeling heartbroken, that has kept me feeling without. And it's not helping. It's just holding me back here, holding me back in the woulda, coulda, shoulda, and I can't and I won't, and it won't happen. But I know that that's just going to create an ending here. So this is what they're working through. Yeah, Hangman. So there could be a period of no contact here for some of you guys. And it could just seem like A is taking their time, or they're like holding back. But it's like they're starting to see this from a whole different perspective of like how they have to be in order to engage. It's like you'll have to do things differently. You have to see things differently. You have to release certain things that are holding you back. You can't be in scarcity mindset. And so they're seeing this whole thing differently than they might have in the past. But now they're just contemplating, like, how do I move forward? Because I feel like A has not yet committed. There's an uncommitment here. And it's like, I desire to commit to this future. And I just don't know how I'm going to do this. The Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Something very faded here, but again, stuck. Stuck because I feel like, well, one, divine timing is definitely in play, and that this whole connection was meant to bring upon healing and bring upon this dealing with this 3 swords in a way that person B can transition out naturally, organically, so that they can close out this karmic cycle. And this is exactly what's happening. It's unfolding exactly as it should, although it is very slow. And I feel like B has already accepted this thing, and B is understanding that this is true unconditional love, trusting in the process and forging forward, seeing their way forward. It's like if it can't work out here, I have to integrate what I do know and my experience here in order to remain strong and carry on. So pile number 2, this is your reading. I hope this helped you. I love you very much. You'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, gorgeous angel. Pile number 3, you guys picked the butterfly, and we're looking at you versus the person on your mind. And what is the current energy between the two of you guys? Feelings, thoughts. Now, remember that the energy could be you versus a current situation, circumstance, you versus your high self, you versus maybe someone that you're not expecting to see, okay? Because we are asking for the person on your mind, but consciously we might have one person on our mind, but really subconsciously the energy is more leaning towards someone else. Okay, the strongest energy pulls through, and that's exactly what I read. So if it doesn't resonate with one side being you, then it's not your pile. Okay, we'll do an A versus B, and so you must resonate with either A or B, and we'll take a look at you versus the person on your mind. So Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and the highest good of pile number 3, person A versus person B, the person that pile 3 came here about. What is going on energetically for the greatest and highest good of pile number 3 in this connection? Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of this connection. Now, you guys can skip ahead if you want. We have 3 decks to shuffle still. Person A and person B. Energetically, what is going on in this connection? A clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good. Thank you, Spirit, and thank you so much, pile number 3, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here doing your reading. One more. Uranus, Neptune energy, 60 or 6, revealing itself for person A. Person B, all right. And then we have the tarot here as well. Let's start with person A. So Uranus and Neptune, interesting. So we have some Capricorn and some Gemini energy. Uranus is the ruling planet for Aquarius, and Neptune is the ruling planet for Pisces. Okay, and then we have Neptune. Strong Neptunian energy. Wow. 10, sacrifice. Okay. And then we have Virgo energy with I analyze. I'll let you guys see this. This is very fascinating because Pisces, which is ruled by Neptune, is the opposite here of this Virgo. So the Virgo, it brings us into grounding in reality. So let's see how it gets channeled, but that's good to see Virgo here. Okay, and then we have explanation 32 and 5. So we have some Taurus and some Sagittarius energy here. Relationship skill with the blue, which is the throat chakra. Okay, authentic expression. It says explanation, understanding, clarification, learning, advisor, reasoning and information. Excuse me. Type 5, the observer thinking center between interior and exterior. Fascinating. All right, let's take a look at B. So we have 51, Saturn and Chiron. I think this came out for pile 1, if I'm not mistaken. So a mirror here, 6 and 6, Capricorn and Gemini energy. Saturn is the ruling planet for Capricorn and Aquarius. Okay, and then we have Chiron, and then we have Mercury retrograde with reinvention. Interesting because Mercury is a ruling planet for Virgo and Gemini. And Gemini is this throat chakra. So retrograde, reinvention, 51 and 6. 51. That's fascinating. So if someone can Google 5151 angel number, and what that means. I'd be curious to know. You guys might be seeing that 5151. Okay, or 66. So 66 is a master number. Service is a source of joy, in which one pours from an overflowing cup, not martyrdom. All right, Taurus energy, more earth. So we have Virgo, Taurus, heavy earth. Plus with all the sixes here is heavy Capricorn. So you and your person could definitely both be earth signs, okay? Green's giving me earth as well. 52 and 7. Gluttony, sin, ego level. Intemperance, debauchery, avidity, bulimia, eagerness, insatiability. Type 7 enthusiast, thinking centered between pleasure and pain. Wow, right by this Taurus energy, there could be some hedonistic energy pulling through here for sure. But let me sit here with this energy and then see what I channel, okay? I feel like I'm missing a whole lot, but we are getting just a snapshot of current energy. So for person A, remember, if you don't resonate with A or B, then it's not your pile. I love seeing that the Virgo is here with all this Neptune, because Neptune is a very sort of dreamy, unrealistic fantasy-like energy. So there's something about what we can't see here in the 3D world. And so there could be this pulling into other realms, spiritual realms here that it needs to get grounded. And I do feel like A could certainly be balancing this out. They could certainly already be balanced or working through balancing, getting grounded and getting more practical, because they could have been thrown into a whirlwind of the Neptunian energy. So it could be that they've been dreaming about, fantasizing about a possibility, and it could be with B for sure. Okay, dreamy energy. And then what is realistic and what can I do and how can I put plan into action here? And it could be what I'm getting as well for some of you guys. It could be that A could have been somebody who was very practical, very grounded, very earthly, even very materialistic in some aspect. And then this connection could have awakened something spiritual within this person. It's like the realms of the unseen through dreams, through angel numbers. We're seeing a lot of these synchronicity type stuff here. And I do feel there is a dichotomy here, because I'm seeing with the sixes, I always get the devil and the lovers. And it's like, how do we engage with fear? And how do we move towards that in which we're being called to move towards, that we're destined to experience, which is in line with true love? And so how do we navigate through this and understand this? And the only way to do this is to connect to our authentic expression. Otherwise, we're driven by fear. And also learning about, because the sacrifice here, it's like, how can we be not overly pouring of one's self here? Because we were seeing 66 as well, which is that giving from an overflowing cup, but not martyrdom. And so how do I maintain love in a realistic way, give of love and compassion without overextending myself? There's a lot of this having to navigate and work through this whole thing, because fear would make us run. Fear would make us take and keep. Fear would make us overgive. Fear would make us act in all sorts of ways here that aren't necessarily in line with love. And love is grounded, but love also can dream of possibilities. And how do we hold the two? And I feel this is exactly what A is sort of doing, so that they could recreate an understanding of what matters to them with this Hierophant energy. I'm really getting like, what do I value? What do I want to commit to? What do I want to believe in? What do I want to fight for? What do I want to give to? What's authentic to me? How can I express this? How can I be honoring this? How can I make it a reality? And how can I not lose that energy of the impossible becoming possible here without it being wishful thinking or a dream or being very ungrounded? There was an awakening for sure with this Uranus energy. I feel like A's world has been at one point flipped upside down. A tower energy, a seeing of the light. It could be seeing their divine nature, seeing their truest self, connecting with the divine, their spirituality. Okay. And they could be having very intense dreams. They could be really getting into their health, really getting into their mind health, their spiritual health, their physical health, their world. It must be aligned. It's like, what is not good for me? Who's not good for me? Is my environment supporting me? Can I be nurtured here? What am I creating? What am I harvesting? Or what do I want to harvest? Or what do I want to cultivate right now? Or what do I want to plant? There's a lot of this, and maybe even like, what are my thoughts with this I analyze? How do I get trapped in thoughts or dreams or visions? Or how are my thoughts just illusory, like creating stories, or where they're ungrounded and keeping me hostage, or where they're not aligned with my truth? And how do I speak my truth once I understand my truth and honor and respect that? There's also working through listening and understanding of other here. There's a lot going on with this person, a lot. It feels very well-rounded because there's a lot in the spiritual realm that's like you can't touch or feel or see with the mind and the spirit and the dream. And then there's a lot here of practical, grounded, taking action on authentic expression. And but one thing I feel, I don't know, like, even though Pisces is water energy with this Neptune, it feels I feel there's something about the emotions still that aren't here for some reason. I don't know why, but it feels like there's something about the emotions is not here. But there's a lot of understanding boundaries, what is too much and what's too heavy when it comes to leaning one way or the other, both sides. There's a middle ground needing to be understood that's true to this person, that's authentic to this person, that's going to dictate what this person does and what they support and what they want to cultivate and believe. And maybe they just kind of went with the wind, or did whatever they were being called to do. And now it's like, I must get real. I must get honest. I must support what it is that I'm being called to do, that my soul wants. So I don't know. We'll see what the tarot, because I was getting something about emotions feeling a little bit, I don't know, not here. Maybe they had to shut their emotions off, or maybe they've been so much in their minds that they haven't been able to really feel. It's like really, really feel what truly speaks to them. And so I feel like even connecting to this other realm, it feels more like mental, spiritual realm than it does like watery realm. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's kind of what I'm getting. So let's take a look at person B. Okay, so like I said, with this Taurus and this gluttony, I feel there's a hedonistic energy coming from this person. This person could certainly be self-absorbed, in the moment of what makes me feel good right here, right now. And being in the present moment, there's nothing wrong with present moment. But when we haven't resolved any of our triggers, traumas, shadows that we're acting out of subconscious, and we could be avoiding, numbing, suppressing. And so I feel like this person is being called to heal this specific way of engagement, because I do feel like with this retrograde, this is bringing up all of the past in order for us to reflect and review. And so it's like, reflect and review how you're engaged, but also this person's mind, because I feel like this person might have held an understanding of who they are and what they do and ran with this and not have questioned it. And it's like, do you actually say and do things here that are true to you? And so there's a lot of pain that's been buried in this person's soul, with this Saturn Chiron. And I feel like it could be stemmed from a long extended period of time with the Saturn Chiron. And that this person for a long time has been handling or coping with or dealing with this in a way that they only know how. And I don't necessarily believe that they've been choosing love. Okay, I feel like they've been choosing the easy way, even though it's difficult, because I say the easy way because it's like, what's going to numb this pain now, and then construing it kind of like thinking that they're doing the best thing for themselves. Like, I'm doing what feels good, so I must love myself, or I must be not really too sold into pain because there's an in denial is what this is, because it's like I haven't processed the pain. I just kept covering up the pain and then convinced myself or told myself that I was okay or that this would heal me, but it's really just an avoidance thing that's happening here. And I feel like Spirit is saying this connection is getting this person, it's creating a mirror one, so this person could see what's really going on in their subconscious, deal with this and look at that. And also there's greater things that are deeper and more meaningful than the superficial. And I don't know that this person has ever experienced or had an opportunity to experience that, which is what? Love with this green, okay, and this 6. So this connection with the 6 and 6 is lovers, which I feel is very destined for these two to come together to experience unconditional love, to open the heart space, to dive in deeper than that in which they've been able to experience up until now. Oopsie. Oopsie. Hopefully I don't get demonetized here. So yeah, like I feel like B could be a sabotager, and it's like just automatically saying that they don't really necessarily deserve really deep, good, soulful things, and being very surface and superficial. And it's like, no, you deserve to experience depth. You get to experience something greater than that in which you've experienced. And it's like they might have just really wrote this off as I'm just undeserving here, or it's just not going to happen. And so I just settle here in this. I feel it's a 3 cups sort of energy. Woohoo, party now, network, I'm satisfied. It's like, it's not deep. It's just superficial. They don't know what they don't know, and they could have been living in some sort of ignorance here. And it's like, I can't get enough party. I can't get enough drinking. I can't get enough even food or whatever it is that they use as their thing, But it's like Spirit is saying, you're going to look at this thing. You're going to understand yourself. You're going to understand like the depth of what you do deserve here, which is greater than that in which you're experiencing. And so because we're looking at current energy right now, there is a review here of a deeper part of themselves that they might have feared treading and looking at, because it's so much easier to be reactionary and deflect and engage in the superficial than it is to look at the thing that's creating this reaction out of me. So it was default to this other thing, whatever their thing is. If it's not party, then it's drinking or overdoing something that doesn't keep them in reality. It keeps them feeling okay in the moment. And then they sell it to themselves as sort of the be all end all, but it's very surface here. And it's like a cycle, because then we feel the shame or the guilt. And it's like, I feel the shame or the guilt because I did the thing. And then I really think I'm not worthy of deeper love, but I'm just keeping this sort of pain alive. And I do feel like B could be quite stubborn, okay, and it could be withholding and could be very difficult to connect to. And it's like, how do you compete with this person's materialistic sort of a view on what pleasure looks like and deep meaning? And so, yeah, he might have had to understand, like this sort of language and see beyond the superficiality. And I do see and sense that A would most likely feel a rejection here, because like, I can't compete with your sex, drugs, and rock and roll or whatever it is here that's like immediate high. Like, how do you compete? And so A might have had to go wandering into the ethers here to like communicate in a 5D level, where it's like, I can't in the 3D pierce this thing. You're not understanding or seeing a greater truth. And so if these two are spiritually connected, which I do feel with the Lovers, it's like, how do I get B to understand or see the truth beyond all of this superficiality? So let's see. Spirit, clear and concise message for pile number 3. A versus B, feelings, thoughts. Can we dive in deeper with this connection? A versus B, what's going on in this connection right here, right now? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of this connection. 2 swords. The King of Wands, and it kind of feels sideways, so I'm going to leave it there. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. Ace of Wands. So aces are all about new beginnings. 10 of Pentacles. Why is this 2 of Swords here? Queen of Wands. So now we have the King and the Queen of Wands. Divine counterparts here. And we have the 5 of Swords in reverse, the Knight of Swords, and the Page of Cups in reverse. And finally, why is this 10 Pentacle here? Page of Cups in reverse. Did I say Page of Cups here? I'm sorry, Knight of Cups in reverse, Page of Cups in reverse. And the 9 Pentacles and the 3 of Cups in reverse. Remember 3 Cups energy I was really feeling with this one. 3 Cups in reverse, yeah, yes, because it is in the shadow. Okay, give me a second to tap into what this is. Queen of Pentacles under that, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn with the 6s. Okay, so I feel Spirit's showing both sides here. Okay, like both sides. So you and your person could either be both earth signs or both fire signs here, but I feel like you guys are very similar energetically here, okay? And I feel like there's mirroring that's happening in order for both sides to really work through whatever they need to work through. And remember, I was saying there was something in regards to emotions here with A. Okay, I feel like A still is having to work through being okay on their own is kind of what I feel, like really feeling whole, complete, and not impacted so much by what B didn't do or is doing. Because I feel like right now these two could most likely be not coming together. Things feel a little stuck, and I feel like A might feel not valued or seen by B. It's like, you're not understanding, appreciating, valuing me, or stepping up to me. And I feel like A might want to build something here. Okay, long term. It's like, I want to build. And it's like, you're in another energy here, and we're all stagnant here. And so how do we get out of this mindset of you versus me, what I want, and you're not providing or you're not doing, and therefore I'm taking this stance, and so it's creating this polarizing energy. And it's like A might be showing up very superficially with this Ace of Wands and this Three of Cups in reverse, because it's like there's a feeling of knowing that they want something, but it's not deep enough to satisfy A. It's like your Ace of Wands. This could just be like sexual pleasure, very superficial. And the Three of Cups, I don't get deeper than this Three Cups. And I just fill my days with sort of these empty endeavors in some way here. And it's like it creates this Five Swords, but the Five Swords has to be sort of on two sides here. And I don't think A understands how they're contributing to this energy. And this isn't gaslighting and this isn't blaming A, but this is just saying like every engagement has two sides. If there's a partnership, there's always two sides, always. And one side isn't perfect and the other one's a problem. It's how do these two energies, because there's no right and wrong, how do they engage with each other? One is in one energy, one is in another energy. And when they come together, what does it create? It creates a Five Swords. Because I feel like A is in one type of an energy. And so if A wants a different type of a result, A has to change the energy. If B wants a different result, B has to change the energy. But I feel like B isn't really changing the energy so much as they are reflecting, because I feel they're in this reflective energy now. And I feel like they're very self-focused here. And the more that A is sort of wanting this, what I want at the overseeing what's going on with A, then the more they're going to feel not seen, not appreciated, not understood. And the more they're going to off-put this energy like B did me dirty, or B's the problem, or B's the one who's stuck, or B isn't engaged here. And it's like, no, both of these people are doing a dance. And although B is going through something here that is definitely seeming very superficial, it has absolutely nothing to do with A. And so if A were in a Nine Pentacle and a Queen of Pentacle energy, she would still be able to hold her own, be grounded, full of compassion, and she wouldn't be feeling rejected. She wouldn't be feeling unseen. And I feel energetically, this could certainly open up an opportunity here, because I do feel like if B feels a heaviness, they're uncomfortable with anything deeper than a Three Cups. And then they run, then they deal with however they deal with things here. And so I feel like neither party is coming from a heart space here of unconditional love and compassion, because we're really focused on what's going on in the 3D. What have you done for me lately? How are you seeing me? How can you appreciate me? And it's like, how can I avoid getting hurt? How can I stay in my lane? How can I keep myself focused on myself so I don't have to get hurt? And so we're in Two Swords and we're in Five Swords. But I feel like we're working through this, but I still feel like the heart space is still closed here. And so this lesson is one of authenticity and unconditional love and seeing a greater truth beyond ourselves, so that we could come into harmony together and work with others here. Page of Swords, an understanding so that we could see greater truth that is not stemmed from fear or past experiences. So let me see. I'm going to drill in here because I feel like I said there was something missing, or I don't know exactly, because it felt well-rounded, but then what's going on with the cups? Let's see. Spirit, yeah, because there is emotions here with the Neptune, but with Uranus, it's like maybe the emotions are just too emotionally clouded, like not regulated here in a way that's allowing oneself to really get grounded here. Let's see. Spirit, clear and concise message for person A. What am I missing regarding person A's energy here? Three Swords. They're still healing the Three Swords. So they still feel abandoned, loss, separation consciousness. And so when we feel separate, we feel alone, we feel abandoned, we feel hurt. And I feel they feel rejected by B, but that's an untruth. And this is what they have to heal, is this Three Swords. You know, this isn't saying that they're bad. This is saying if they know that they are not separate from the divine creator, if they know that they are not separate from person B and there is no rejection happening except for the rejection they're internalizing, and then they can overcome and become that 9 Pentacle and the Queen of Pentacle. But I feel they're still knee deep in this, feeling abandoned, let down, and I feel like these two might be in separation. The Queen of Wands. So there's still an ego. There's still, I want to be seen for my, what I do in this world, you know, like how I am, how I engage, what I accomplish, my success, how independent, and look at me. And it's like, if you're not acknowledging my beauty, my accomplishments, and my value in this way, then it's like, I feel sad, I feel separate, I feel alone. It's like, no, but this is deeper than this. This is all soul stuff. This has nothing to do with what we manifest in the 3D when it's a spiritual journey. The 3D manifest is the aftermath of it all. Yeah, there's the 9 Pentacles I was talking about. There's the Ace of Wands in reverse. So it's like, if you don't want me, if I can't pursue you, I feel separate, I feel hurt, I feel not validated and seen, which is an ego, by the way, but I don't feel secure, whole, and capable on my own here in this connection, which makes me feel sad, and I want to feel this way. And it's like, yeah, but you could feel this way without this person. You don't need another person to make you feel 9 Pentacle and Queen of Wands. So we have Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. What else for this person A that I'm missing here? 5 of Cups in reverse. So healing that abandonment, feeling rejected, and 3 of Cups in reverse. Something about like the emotions, like I said, is very mirrored here. I feel like A definitely has work to do on themselves. They need to find their own appreciation, their own confidence from within, not external validation. That's a given here. They feel like it's very superficial here. It's not deep enough for me. And it's like, oh, but it's like, okay, they're able to have their opinion of it. And clearly this person isn't deep enough because they're dealing with this energy like we read. But has to be an undoing of the mask. There has to be an undoing of why they're seeking this. Because then they can heal and connect to what is creating the 3 Swords energy. So then they could be open to receive more than this type of an energy. Right now, this energy that they're in is only welcoming a reverse 3 cups. This is why they're drawing in a reverse 3 cups, because this is the energy this person's in. And then they're feeling sad about it. They're feeling bad about it. It's like, why? Why is B doing this? It's because that's what you're bringing in energetically, because you haven't found your own sense of confidence, your own ability to work through the 3 Swords and not be stuck in separation and feeling like, someone else is going to validate me and make me feel worthy. No one's going to make you feel worthy here except for yourself, or else you keep bringing this person in, and this person's mirroring this to them and will forever mirror this to this person. And if not this person, it'll be another person and another person, and they'll keep seeking, who's going to make me feel worthy? Who's going to help me bake this bread? No, bake it yourself. Now, let's take a look at this person over here. What's going on here with person B that I missed? Death. So transformation is assured. The universe is working with this person. This person's having to release what no longer serves, and this definitely no longer serves, especially if they've been in this energy for quite some time. Hedonistic energy, Scorpio energy. Okay. And it could be that A ended it with B. So they might be processing the ending, you know, and maybe having a wake-up call here. But I feel this is more about the transformation of the hurt self, releasing these pains, having to deal with what's on the surface right now so they could deal with the deeper stuff. Yeah, Judgment in reverse, so that they can awaken to the truth of who they are and the truth of this connection. And if they don't see the truth, they can't engage in the truth. They just keep reacting in the same way they've always reacted here. unhealed, unregulated. They can't be another cup for A. They can't show up. And until they heal this Chiron, Saturn energy, they can't be in an energy to match this Queen of Wands. And so I feel this Queen of Wands is being shown this to intensify this three swords so she could heal this thing, so she can stand on her own. And then these two can come together. But the healing must happen here with with B and with A. Hierophant and Emperor in reverse, Aries, Taurus, and Five of Wands. And under Five of Wands is the Queen of Cups in reverse. So when it comes down to it, like I keep saying, this is all about unconditional love. Unconditional love, okay, which I'll just call love. It has no expectation. It doesn't seek validation. There is no transaction. It's not based in fear. It's not based in abandonment. It's not based on what can someone else do for me or validate for me or reflect back to me as something from me. This is all about how can I bless my brother, my sister, and be open, okay, but not an overflowing cup that's martyrdom and really from an intentional place of attaining. No. So there's conflict right now between these two because these two are wounded and these two are needing to work through their internal conflict. Okay. And I feel like B is certainly in a reverse emperor type energy, stubborn, not seeing the greater good here. It's getting in the way of what they value, a greater level of commitment, how they can show commitment. And so they're definitely in their shadow, but they're transforming and going through a process here, which is taking some time. And in the meantime, A is having to take a look at their programming and their traditional beliefs and what they think commitment looks like and why it is that they're needing commitment. Is it to validate some egoic thing? Is it some sort of understanding that they have that might not necessarily be their truth? And they're having to really understand this rather than just like attach to a story of what they think that they need, but it's really the pain body talking because there's an unfulfilled part of themselves inside themselves that's still unhealed, that's saying, I need this Hierophant from you. No, you don't. No, you don't. Nine of Cups in reverse. So both people are emotionally dissatisfied. And A might be saying, well, it's an easy solution to fix this 9 cups if B would just come forward and we'd be happy ever after. It's like, no, you want B to fill your 9 cup. You're got to fill your own 9 cup. This is all about self. How do you fill your own 9 cup? This doesn't mean we got to be alone forevermore and happy with it. This means I am fulfilled even when I am alone. And so if I can't heal this thing, the Spirit's going to keep putting it in front of me until I'm happy on my own, capable of being emotionally fulfilled without other. I don't need it reflected to me by anyone else. And now I am ready for a healthy relationship, because if I am not in a 9 cups, I can't be in a 10 cups. And this person is also in a 9 cups reverse because this person is actually using all of this gluttony, this hedonistic energy to scratch some itch because they cannot feel full and complete. They only get a 3 cups energy. But then when there's something more than the 3 cups, it scares this person because they can't see a greater truth. They don't feel deserving of it. They're unhealed. They can't match up to it. They don't feel deserving of it. It's like, no, I can't step up to more than a 3 cups anyway, so I might as well settle here in the 3 cups world. But it's not emotionally fulfilling. It's just superficial. And then we feel, like I said, the cycle of shame, guilt, and they feel dissatisfied emotionally going through that. And specifically, they feel emotionally dissatisfied when they can't engage with A because they do see A as someone who's of a higher capacity, and A is not of a higher capacity. We're all God's children. But as long as they see A in a pedestal and a higher capacity, it's like, well, they're too good for me. I can't match that energy. So I feel emotionally like this is where I belong. Meanwhile, it's dissatisfying. Oops, there's the world. Sorry, I don't want to get another stone. So the world means closing cycles. Both these people are closing cycles about conditioning, programming that's getting in the way of a higher level of commitment, and person B stepping into their divine masculine energy, regardless if they're male or female, and being empowered to go after commitment, to be empowered to align with what truly matters. This is like what we really value, like spiritually. And so both people are called to review their spiritual dogmas and their spiritual understandings of what they want for themselves, and be empowered to make it happen for themselves without other people interfering. It's like another person isn't going to dictate to me my spiritual happiness or my value or what I commit to. I can generate that from within. It's not given to me based on an experience or just a blind understanding or a belief of an experience I had. And so there's a lot of transformation happening here. And I feel there's a fucked up energy over here, if I have to be honest, because I don't think A fully understands yet. It's still an outward projection. It's still an egoic thing. There's still pain present here. There's still not seeing one's own thing, but seeing the others very clearly. And it's like, what about self? We got to turn it back to self. Look at self, deal with self, because the self here is just as pained as B is. Just as pained and also incapable of deep love. Even though they think, well, I could do a 2 cups. It's like, no, it's transactional. So it's still a surface 3 cups. If we can't be completely unconditionally open from a place of an open heart where we're not expecting and we're unconditional and we are being of service to other, that's a 2 cups. But if we're like, what commitments can you give to me? What can you toot my horn? What can you validate of me? Well, that's a 3 cups. That's not a 2 cups at all. And so this is needing to be looked at and healed before there's movement here, so that this person is in an energy of a 9 cups, 9 pentacles. Now they're ready for 2 cups. But until then, they're just sort of trying to win over in way of, look at me, validate me, confirm me, make my ego feel better, transaction with me, and then we'll be okay. It's like, no, that's just your Hierophant talking. That's not the true authentic self talking. This is something you need to really understand and sit with and learn, so that you know what true unconditional love is about. And you can only get there when you sit with yourself and unconditionally love yourself and sit with spirit and get to these profound downloads that really make you connect to the divine. And then you bring it down to earth here, get very grounded about what's really happening and get very serious about what's going on here. And then you shift the energy here, because then B will be drawn to that. Right now, B is rejected by this sort of an energy. What can you give for me? No, I can't even give for me. That's what makes me scared. That's what makes me be hedonistic here. That's what makes me feel I cannot. And so the more I feel this from you, the more I cannot, the more I run and hide, the more I'm not giving, the more I'm not seeing myself. And so there goes my email confirming. So pile number 3, this is your reading. All right. I hope this helped you. I don't know if I named the signs, but Sagittarius and a Scorpio, Taurus, Aries, and Leo. And that's all we have. All right. I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye.